Todd, first congratulations on your award. That's great.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I want to talk, and we were talking a little bit earlier before we recorded this, about sort of the circle of life of automation. That, you know, the innovation you're doing with CNC and other processes sort of suggests that you want to go down a road even more towards robotics. But you were saying no. You want, you know, there's disadvantages to automation. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, I was telling you earlier that we've gone both routes. In the maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we really started bringing in a lot of automation, automated chop saws and printing on wood, and just a lot of areas we were doing a lot of high-tech projects. And once we started our lean journey, it challenged our thinking, and one of the sayings in lean is creativity versus capital. And so we call these big machine centers monuments, and we're really working hard not to buy monuments, because we found that in our process, as we try to go closer to one-piece flow, these big machine centers were really difficult to move, number one. So you had this monument that we had to move around the shop. Second of all, of course, is the capital expenditure on these monuments. They took a lot of planning, they were big dollars, and they also took a different level of personnel to maintain these. Our typical mechanics now had to have to team up with software engineers, had to team up with mechanical engineers, and the maintenance for us we struggled with it, frankly. And it was a kind of a circle life process where we started stripping out some of that equipment and kind of simplifying it. Versus a automated chop saw, we went back to what we were doing 15 years ago with manual chop saws and doing light integration with them. So for an example, where we had a winding optimizing chop saw, which are fantastic chop saws, but for us, they just weren't fitting as well as I thought because of the things I mentioned earlier. We took that out and we went to a little upcut chop saw, but we put our own software and label printers on them. So we just kind of made a much smaller footprint, much less expensive investment, and a much easier saw to maintain. It's really working towards smaller dedicated machines.
Right.
So I've learned that I would rather have 3 small machines rather than one big giant machine.
Right.
This particular project that we just got into was a big investment. They were monuments,
right.
But that just because we've gone the route of the lean journey doesn't mean we won't invest in technology when we see fit.
And you were talking about a robotic sander that you're very impressed with.
Yeah, Viet has a new robotic sander that they're using for both cross-grain removal on a 5-piece stile and rail door, as well as an area we're especially interested in it today is sanding a recessed machined MDF door. For example, today it takes us 2.5 to 3 minutes to sand the inside of one recessed door. And the robotic sander that they're developing today, we were able to do 5 to 6 doors per minute. And that's where I saw a really good fit. The concept with this particular machine is rather than having one big giant orbital belt or an orbital sander that shakes itself apart, the Viet developed a robot, a Fanuc robot, and it just grabs a typical orbital sander and an orbital sands the center of the door. So for that application, we thought robotic technology could be interesting. However, I still am concerned about the maintenance of it. Well, when there's a problem, who do I call? I don't have robotic experts on team and on staff, and that's something we have to learn about.
And that's a real challenge, I guess, that you're not taking millwrights and those kind of skills, but now you're hiring software engineers, right?
Yes, we definitely are having to have a little different staff than we used to when we get into this kind of work.
Okay, thanks very much for talking to us.
Thank you, appreciate it.